Um, I may check out, so if the internet gets a little um what do you call this, laggy, that could be why, because there's been a typhoon here. Can I take over the screen sharing?
Yeah, sure.
I can.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, everybody. So, good afternoon. Thank you for coming to the call. So today I want to discuss the value of branding yourself in applying to college. Give me 1 second. Okay, so what is the value of branding yourself when you're applying to college? So the value of branding yourself is you have a sophisticated and complicated understanding of yourself that you could then present to the colleges. Because at the end of the day, no matter how well you score in the SAT and how great your letters of recommendation are, if your understanding of yourself is insufficient, how you will present that to the colleges would also be insufficient. And in situations like that, the, you don't do yourself justice because you're not able to introduce yourself sufficiently to the colleges. So, in order to do that, a huge part of college application, of preparing your college application, is understanding yourself. And that's about creating your own brand. So, to do that today, I would like to divide the session into two parts. The first part of the session, I'll control most of it. I'll give you like the theory behind what I do and my journey about how I came up with this process. And then in the second half, I want some active participation from the audience about how we could build. We're going to do an exercise about how we can build a brand for perhaps one of you or a hypothetical person. Does that make sense? Good. Okay. So let's talk about why you want to listen to me. Well, um, I went to college in the US and the University of Minnesota, and I received my PhD from Oregon Health and Sciences University in 2022. So, but that path is a highly short and simplified version of what I went through. So I did high school in the Philippines, and then I spent 2 years at UP, and then I transferred to the University of Minnesota in Twin Cities. Okay. From there, I received my bachelor's in biology. And then I spent a few 2 years off working as a research assistant. And then from there, I went to Vanderbilt University to obtain my doctorate in physiology. However, halfway through my doctorate, my advisor retired. And as a result, I had to transfer to another university to finish my doctorate. So then I had to reapply again to Oregon Health and Science University, where I was living then, which is in Portland, Oregon. And that's where I received my PhD. And from there, I decided that I'm going to carve my own path. And today I'm a professional academic coach to many students, some of whom are in the call, I believe. And what I want to do in my life is I see myself as a guide, as a coach to many of my students. And what I want to create for my life is have um, in my life, when I imagine my life, maybe like 20 or 30 years from now, I would have coached 30 students and they're living their lives well. And they would remember things that I've said that has impacted them. So that's the life I want to create. And that's the life that I'm doing. So an important part of branding is getting to know yourself. So what is a brand? So I'm going to ask a question to the panel, and I'm going to ask if you could tell me, what do you think is the brand of an apple? If somebody could just speak and tell me what's the brand of an apple.
Oh, Coach Kim, to inform you, only the panelists can unmute.
Oh,
So,
only the panelists. Okay, then
yeah,
perhaps
but
one of
don't
the
worry, we
panelists.
have Sophia who called. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. So what is the brand of an apple? One of the panelists. Sophia, perhaps you would tell us.
Hello, could you please repeat the question? Sorry, my
Yeah.
internet is
So
also a
what
bit
is the
unstable
brand?
right now.
Sorry. So let me repeat. So the question is, what is the brand of an apple? Why would you buy an apple? What about it makes you want to buy it?
I would say because it's nutritious and it's
Okay,
good
nutritious.
for you, good for your body.
Okay. Okay, nutritious, healthy, perhaps. Yeah. What else?
Yes. Um,
Anything else?
well, it tastes good too
Okay,
for a lot
so
of
taste,
people.
right? What else?
Um,
Maybe, I don't know.
Why not Nangat from the audience message us? They said camera.
Yeah. So there's many more things, right? So these are what? These are our interpretations of what that apple is. Yes. So when you're applying to college, you want to tell the colleges what your brand is. And what is your brand? So let's think about it this way. Okay. So let's think about the college. What is the brand of the college? Brand of the college. So some colleges are producing experts in medicine, etc. Some are experts at producing experts in economics or business, etc. Okay. And because these are the fields in which this college produces experts in, we would also infer that this is the fields that this college is making an effect on, right? So when the colleges write their missions and their visions, and they say that they want to create a society that is this that is like a certain kind in the future, then what they want is they want to create a workforce, a population of human beings that can accomplish that goal. Okay, so when you apply to college, the first part of the application process is you are criticizing the brand of the college. Okay, is this a college that I want to go to? Okay, is this a college that I want to go to? If yes, for what reasons? Is it because I want to be trained well, or is it because I want the name to sound, to sound good? Or is it because I am being forced to go there? Whatever. Okay, it could be a variety of reasons. So, but the first part is you looking at the brand of the college and making a decision whether you want to apply or not. Okay, so there's that one branding aspect. The second branding aspect is you. Okay, so what is the branding about you? So the next is you present your brand. Okay, so you see, I separated it. This is you, and then you highlight certain things about yourself. And then that generates a picture in the colleges. Sorry, I'm not the best drawer, but I hope my drawings make sense. My students would laugh because I do this frequently. Yeah, so this is you. You have done many things, but you present certain things about you. You highlight those things either through putting them as a list of things that you have done as an extracurricular activity, or you put it in your essay, or both, right? So those things that you mention about yourself, that tells something about you. So all together, your responses to the questions and whatever you put in your resume creates a picture of who you are, okay, as a person. Is this a person who is determined, resourceful, punctual, right? All of these things, the colleges want to understand who you are because they want to determine if you're somebody, number one, that they can help, and number two, if after they help you, would you use that help, that training to accomplish some of the goals that they want to accomplish for their alumni? Okay, so when you're thinking about these calculus of things, you want to consider the combined effect of that on how you should prepare your applications. Okay, and it would be different, excuse me, per colleges. But how is that? How does that work? So what are the key things? So if you were to take away anything from my talk, okay, it's these three things, okay? Number one, the keys to creating a successful application. So the three keys. Number one, you need a clear idea of your goal. And this is not negotiable. Okay. You need to tell them what you want to do. Okay. Do you want to become a doctor? Do you want to become an engineer? Do you want to become a scientist? Do you want to become a business person? Whatever that is, you need to tell them. And in no uncertain terms, like very clear, defined. Okay. Step 2, some idea. Okay. So you see, we have different degrees of wiggle room into what we want to say. Okay. Some idea of your proposed journey. Okay. Meaning, how do you think you're going to accomplish your goal? Okay. You want to tell them that you've thought through it. Okay. You're going to go through college. Perhaps you'll do some internships. You'll build a network. And then from there, you will pursue further training. Maybe you'll get a master's or you'll get a doctorate. Whatever that is, you need to have communicated that you have considered that. Okay. And that going to this college would help you go to that next step, because college is not the end of it. It's just a small part of your adult life, right? So therefore, you want to tell them what their role is. You got to tell the colleges, this is your role in my training. This is my training. You're just playing a small role in it, okay? And number 3, the last one, is evidence of a record of success. Okay, what is this? It doesn't mean that you have perfect grades or that you are number 1 in your class. That's not what a record of success is. A record of success is a record that you have succeeded at something that you've done. The more of it you have, the better. What are different examples of a record of success? Okay, you could be an accomplished pianist. Okay, which means that you are an expert at playing the piano. So if you have pursued a hobby or a sport, whatever, up to the degree that you become an expert, then you know what it takes to become an expert at something. That is a record of success. And the reason that that's important is that a record of success is highly predictive of somebody's probability of future success. Okay, which means the more that you have experienced success in the past, the more likely that you will be successful in the future. So your recording and presentation of your records of success and why each experience is successful and how it has helped you is critical to your preparation of this college application. Okay, so if you are thinking about your brand, these 3 things must be present there. Okay, so let's think about somebody who's probably in high school now and applying to college soon. Okay, and maybe they want to become a doctor. Okay, maybe they want to pursue medicine to assist women's health in the Philippines. Okay, maybe that's a pursuit that they want to go, and they want to say that there. So they want to say that I want to become a doctor so that I can address the state of women's health in the Philippines. Okay. So then in order to pursue that, they need to say how they're going to get there. So in order to address women's health, this person then needs to train to become a physician. After they train to become a physician, they will undergo further training to become an expert in women's health. Okay. Maybe doing obstetrics and gynecology. Okay. And then after that, they will do further training and perhaps go into the community to see what they can do for women's health. And then in order for them to be believed by the universities that they are somebody who will do that, they must show evidence that they are determined to pursue that goal. Now, how would they show that? Well, perhaps there are some things that they have done in the past that demonstrate their dedication to this cause and their ability to perform once the task has been handed to them. Okay, so there's a few things that we have to put together in order to create a successful application. So let's work on one of those. Okay, so what is your brand? How many brands are we looking for when so this is like a brand theory approach to college application. So let's start. What year is it now? 2024. Okay. So 2024 you is a certain person. Okay. Does somebody want to participate with me and have a conversation about a hypothetical person? Maybe the moderator.
Hi. I could do
Moderator.
it.
Okay, what's your name?
Sophia.
Oh, you're Sophia too, not Sophia
Yes.
Chua.
Yes, I'm a different
Okay,
Sophia.
a different Sophia. Okay, nice to meet you, Sophia. So let's talk about 2024 hypothetical high school student. Okay, so this 2024 hypothetical high school student, she would have a brand, right? Why would she have a brand? Because she has done things in her life. And therefore, there are things about that life that we can bring out about her that would determine her what she will be later. So now let's go 15 years later. So 20, let's just do 16, 2040. So she would be possibly 15 years later, so in her 30s, around that. Okay, so maybe 18 years old. 30, around 30 years old, not exact, but around that age. Okay, so what do you think are the different brands for you when you're 20, when now and later? Sophia, let's think about if you're willing to
Hi.
share.
Okay. So right now, I'm really into like arts.
Okay,
I think
arts.
that's one of the major ones because my two major ones right now are the degrees I'm thinking of pursuing are either art related or business related. So I'd say those are two of my
Okay,
main brands right now.
okay, okay, awesome. So some art or business degree. Okay, so what do you think are the highlights of your current background that you want to mention in your college application?
Well, for art, I've been doing art almost my entire life. That's around
Mm,
maybe around like 12 plus years or so.
okay,
And then
okay,
like in an academic sense, I take IB Art HL. So I'd want to
okay.
include stuff about my HL exhibition and portfolio for the art related aspects. And then
Okay.
for business, I'm part of like a small student run business. It's also somewhat related to art because our main product is hand painted tumblers. So that's my main
Mm,
like exposure in business. But
okay.
aside from that, I think it's just a field that I'm also quite interested in, and it's also something that I'm taking up in school at an HL level in my IB curriculum.
Is business HL, BM.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So that makes sense, right? Art HL, BM HL, want to do something business art related. That makes sense. Okay, let's keep going. What else? What else do you think is notable about your background?
Aside from that, I'm also heavily involved in a lot of like school or organizations.
Okay, like
Um,
what?
for example, my most prominent one would be the social action organization in our school, which I know isn't really
Okay,
related to the other stuff I mentioned, but I've been in this
it's
organization
okay.
for all my 4 years of high school, and I've been like in a leadership position for the last 3 out of the 4 years.
Okay, all right. What
So
else?
that's another notable one. And then my other organizations are our school newspaper, which I've also been in for
Mhm.
all my 4 years of high school. And on my last year, I'm on the editorial board. So that's
Okay.
another one. And then um more on the
Mhm.
art sense, I was in our school's production crew for my from grade 10 to grade 11. So that's two
Okay.
years.
Nice.
And
Okay.
then right now I'm also in our school's IBDP organization. I've been a member for both my years in the DP and I'm an officer also in my last year. And
Mm.
then probably another one I'd like to mention is it's a little bit a lot, but another one is like I've been on like the committees for example if like my batch has specific events like our prom or our welcoming rites, I've also been on the committees for those and for prom, I was in
Sure.
also a head position. I was in the finance head position, which I guess would somewhat also relate to the business aspect. And then
Okay.
one last I would probably say is I'm going to be helping out in our TEDx ICA for our school which is
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was just established last year, so I volunteered last year, and now I'm gonna help them continue and turn it into a real organization in our school. So yeah, I'd say those
Beautiful.
are some of the
Oh,
notable those are like my involvements in school.
okay. Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. So,
Oh,
so what
and
does this
also
look like?
of course, I just last to mention I'm also in camp, obviously.
Oh,
I'm
right.
all
Camp.
graphic
Okay.
designer here at camp, so that relates to the art aspect
Art.
as well.
Okay, beautiful. And are you applying to college this year?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, hopefully this is helpful. So let's look at this person. So looks like she's around 18, yeah? Around
Yes.
18. Let's assume, okay. So has been pursuing art for many years, takes IB Art HL, takes business management HL as well, runs a student business related art project, does some social action, um, some journalism, some actual building stuff for the production crew, other events. Okay. So this communicates a busy student that has pursued a variety of pursuits, right? So there's business, there's service, there's school organizations, etc. So this is important. So you need to think about what this says about you, each one of these. Okay. So let's think about a few. We don't need to define all of it, but let's think about a few. So what does doing art for 12 years and taking IB Art HL say? Independently and together. That could say that this person is dedicated to art. Okay. And a person that's dedicated to art is called an artist. So that's your first brand. When you introduce yourself, you don't want to say, I want to study art. No, you say you're an artist. Okay. You've been doing art for many years. You're an artist. Okay. Next. So you've done some student-run business that is also art related. So then you can say that you have ran student ran businesses. Okay, so then you can say that you have pursued something entrepreneurial. So that's something that can be said about you from this entrepreneurial. And since you take BMHL, that also says that that lines up with entrepreneurial. So next, you're part of the social action org, and in that organization, you have a leadership position. So this indicates that you at least are considering social causes. Okay, so you have a moral compass, and that you have leadership skills, and that you want to pursue that leadership in this way, and that's great. Okay. Next, you have some journalism experience, so you can write, right? So writer. Um, I would also say there's some artistry to writing that I think can also be highlighted. Okay. So school production crew, that would be part of the artist as well. IBDP org officer, events committees, 10x ICA. So I would just say, like, that this demonstrates that this is a person um who can be a reliable member, right? There's more things. So the more we get to know about the roles that you play in each of these different organizations, the more we can attach labels to what that is. So this is not like a bad labeling thing. This is just so that we can clearly communicate the things that are good about you, right? So if you've done a lot of social work, then you're someone who's passionate about social causes. So you can clearly say that. So, and like sometimes finding those keywords is the hardest thing. Okay. So this is like, maybe let's say that this is someone who is work a team member, a team player. because you're part of a different many organization, team player, leader as well. Okay, and then some artistry here. Okay, so we have a lot of things here. So in our brand, we can say that we are an artist, a dedicated artist with entrepreneurial skills and passion for social causes, expressed through participating in different organizations in both leadership and artistic positions. So that kind of all lines up together with somebody who wants to pursue art and do business at the same time. So I'll go back to you, Sophia. So in 2040, what do you think you're doing?
To be honest, I couldn't really picture it right now, but maybe like
Hmm.
um I guess I could see myself like having an office job, I guess. I don't really know all of that yet. But hopefully
Okay.
I'd be doing something related to like my interests and I wouldn't be stuck in like a field I didn't like, if that makes also
Okay.
sense.
Absolutely. But you know that you have absolute control over all of that, right?
Yes.
Like that, to not be stuck in a field you don't want, to only pursue the things that interest you. Like you have control over all of that. But to get to that point at 30, you have to have a little bit of a clear idea where that is. Think about it like if if you're on the ocean and you're a sailboat, right? This is the sailboat and this is the ocean. And then the sailboat wants to get here. This is the destination. Well, the sailboat must set their sails here, right? So that they will eventually reach this. If they set their sail here, well, they're not going to reach their destination because this is where they want to be. So if we don't have a clear idea about what it is we want to do later, it makes it difficult to convince other people that of what it is of who we are, right? So it's if that's not clear yet, it's important to think about it, right? So like let's think about what do you think would make you happy at that time, at 30 years old, 2040 maybe.
Um,
So you mentioned a few things. You
I'd say
said
like
doing something you love.
still being able to do yeah. I'd say hopefully I'd still be able to do art and maybe like
Okay.
even have my own exhibitions in the future. And
Uh-huh.
then
Do art, do
as for the business
exhibitions.
side, the aspect that yes, and then for the business side, the aspect I'd most enjoy in business is marketing. So like
Mm-hmm.
setting up like marketing campaigns for other companies is also something that really
Okay.
interests me that I'd be interested to
Uh-huh.
do in like an office in a professional setting in the future.
Sure. So a marketing professional. Okay, what else? Anything
And
else about your life?
I hope that in the future I'd still be able to be involved in like social action as much as I am right now because it's been like such a big part of my life for the past few years. So I really hope that after I graduate I can still continue that on in whatever form that may be.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Um, Another thing like on the side, related to journalism, I'd really like to like write for like even if it's just freelance, like to have like to write articles and get articles published. That's also like
Okay.
quite an ambition of mine as well in the
Yeah.
future. So I'd say those are some of the main points.
Okay. Nice.
And
So
also,
that
I mean, I
looks,
guess also technically like opening up my own business is also on the table in the
yeah,
future.
I love it. I love it. It's own business. Totally. So excellent. So this is good, right? So if you think about this, what is this saying about this person? That they're an artist, an independent artist, probably with a following, right? Because they're doing exhibitions. So they're an established artist with a following who's also a marketing professional, perhaps focusing on the artistic side of marketing, and who is also passionate about social causes. And they express that through their writing, and they're also running a business. So, what do we say about this person? This person is an artist, right? With the following. So establish somewhere a marketing professional who's also a writer and business owner. Okay, so now we have two brands, not super clearly detailed here, but this is how you determine what your brand is now and what your brand is later, right? So what does this say about the brand now and the brand later? So the brand now is artist, experience in business, social action. And did I miss anything? Social action and team team player and then some leadership. And the brand that we want to create later, 2040, so future, is an artist, business person, who is involved in marketing and social action causes. Okay. So now what do we need to craft? So now we have a clear idea of what we are now and then what we want to be later. So we can clearly say that. So now we have 2 out of 3. We need to add more. What are we missing now? This part. And that's the journey. That's how you're going to get to 2040. So for some of us, well, actually, we think of it this way, right? 2040, that it's going to be straight. Well, it's actually not. It's going to go around like this. And then, I don't know, you'll spend some time there and then you'll get there somehow. Okay. So the journey to your destination is going to be treacherous. It's going to be interesting and you're going to learn so much. Okay. But it's not straight. There's going to be a lot of turns to it. A small part of this is college. Okay. What do you do there? Okay. The other part of this is probably some post-grad or grad school, whichever path you decide to take. Okay. And then after that, you could do further training depending on the field of your choosing, or you work, or you start a business, or others. There's definitely many pursuits that you could take. Okay. So your job is to have a little bit of an idea of how you're going to get there. Okay. So let's think about Sophia again. So Sophia, what do you think you want to do to become this person in 2040? An artist, business person who has it sounds like you have a cool job like Emily in Paris.
I
Or
would
like
say
Sophia in
hopefully I'd be
Manila.
able to take up like a business or art related course in college, and hopefully
Okay.
in whatever college I decide to go to, I can also involve myself in like also the student community and organizations, because I think that's some place I really
Okay.
thrive in and that's a place I really enjoy being in.
Okay. So business or art degree. And then after college, what do you think you want to do?
I think it would depend on where I'm at, on if I'd want to take post grad or grad school. But I think
Huh?
the first thing I'd want to do is also try to start getting like into the business, or like get like a start trying to apply to jobs or getting jobs, just to also like start off before I jump into
Totally.
like creating my own thing.
Yeah, totally. I think that, you know, as a young person, you should take jobs for to learn. Like you take jobs from people that you want to learn from. And I think that if you do that, you become successful later in life. Like for part of grad school, I worked with this professor for a few months because I wanted to learn a technique that he used, that he developed himself. So that really taught me a lot about that technique, and then I have it for the rest of my life. So yeah, definitely get a job. So get a job. So work immediately, right? And then gain experience so that you can start a business, right? Okay. So now
Yeah.
you have a little bit of an idea about what we want to create. So now it's clearer. Now we can communicate this well to the colleges. So let's think of the values, brand values for Sophia here. All right, Sophia. So what do you think when you create your college application? What are the brand values? And when you think about brand values, these are the things that you want to highlight about you as a person and as a college applicant.
Um, first I'd like to highlight my background in art and also in the other fields that I'm interested and
Okay.
my past experiences.
Okay. So you want to say, sounds to me like you're saying that you have an extensive experience in art. Yeah?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
is, is that correct? Okay. So
Yes.
extensive experience in art. Is that a brand value? About a person? Yes. I'm not spelling. Yeah. Okay. What else? What else do you think you want to highlight about yourself?
I want to highlight
Actually,
also
I
my
take this back. I'm gonna rephrase this. Sorry,
okay.
apologies. Extensive experience in art is something that you did. The brand value is that you're an artist. Okay, next.
I'd also want to highlight my leadership experience with my
Okay.
different involvements in school.
Ah, okay. So you're also a leader. What else?
And then I'd also like to highlight like my social work and like my passion
Okay.
for the different things that I do, like my dedication.
So your dedication, okay. So you're dedicated, okay, to many pursuits. And each pursuit,
Yes.
you pursue them to the high standard that you have.
Yes.
Okay, next.
Um,
So think about the person that you want to be later, right? Somebody who's this, an artist, a business person doing marketing and doing social action. What do they need to be now? And what do you have in your background that would help you be that person? So
I
definitely an
think
artist is
like
important.
yes,
Go ahead.
like that. I don't know if it's like is willing to learn. I don't know if that's really considered though.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah. Willingness to learn.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the most important skills that you could have, right? So
Yes.
I've been coaching sports for many, many years. And I always say to the parents is that an uncoachable kid is an unemployable adult. You know what I mean? Like if you cannot be coached, you're probably
Yes.
not employable. So your ability to learn from your experiences and be taught and pick it up and improve it, now that just goes higher and higher in levels of complexity and quality of work. So willingness to learn is definitely a brand value. So you're an artist, a leader, dedicated with a high standard, you're willing to learn. What else do you think we want to highlight?
I want to highlight, especially for business, like my previous entrepreneurial skills
Yeah,
in like
totally
managing
entrepreneurial.
our student-run business. Yes.
Yeah, entrepreneurial. So the management would be under leader already. So you're entrepreneurial. What else? Is there anything else? If there's nothing else, then there's nothing else. This is the brand now. Artist, leader,
Would it be
dedicated.
saying I like I challenge myself? Is that
Okay.
like, because for example, I take IB and not it's not an option
Totally.
open to everyone, but yeah.
Yeah, totally. So how would we say that? So we would say that you are you challenge yourself. Um,
Yes.
you're brave. No, I think I would just say that you challenge yourself. Challenge oneself. Okay. What else?
I think that would be, or oh, and then maybe like one last to be like, is it like people oriented? Because like I work
Okay,
with
that's
like a lot of
important.
different people.
Yeah, totally. So you have interpersonal skills.
Yes.
Personally, interpersonal skills. Let's just call it interpersonal skills. Okay, so this is the brand now. So therefore, this, if you think about this, this describes properties of a person, right? So therefore, when we prepare your application, we need to highlight that you're an artist, a leader, that you're dedicated, you're willing to learn, you're entrepreneurial, you challenge yourself, and that you have interpersonal skills. How do we do that? A combination of highlighting the experiences that you have, okay? Making sure that on the list, for example, for the common application, when we come up with a list of 10 activities that you're going to choose, you want to make sure that you're checking these 7 marks. Now, one activity may check more than one, right? Some activities may check less. So when you create your brand values, list the activities that you have in your resume and then see what about your brand values they checked. That will then allow you to determine which of these activities that you have done is worth putting in your uh, list of 10 activities. Okay. So that's one way that you could use your brand to help you answer a prompt. Okay. Because the brand tells you what you want to say about yourself. If that is clear, then you're able to communicate that to the colleges. Okay. Let's use this as an example. So let's say that you have a question in a college essay asking you, let's do one of the common app ones. Like if you could describe one thing that you could do without thinking, what would that be and why? So, Sophia,
Um,
that's
Maybe I
prompts.
would talk about art in the prompt because it's
Okay.
been something that I've been doing for a really long time in my life, and it's something that
Yeah.
I'm really passionate about.
Okay. So you're gonna talk about, so that's the answer, that this is the thing that you can do like forever, right? Mindlessly without effort. So that is a state of flow. Okay. So then how would you in your essay communicate that you're an artist, leader, dedicated, willing to learn, entrepreneurial, challenge yourself, and interpersonal skills? You don't need to know. There's no right or wrong answer. I just want to know, what do you think you need to do? And what I would advise would be a appropriate approach.
I would say that I should highlight my past experiences to show them that I'm actually involved in this and that it's something I actually enjoy doing. And
Okay.
then,
So
um,
and that would demonstrate your artist and leadership experience,
yes,
or for all of them.
yes.
Okay.
And then maybe
So
highlighting
experience.
specific experiences also.
Okay. And then,
Um, and then maybe like I'm not so sure, but like talking about like how I really like really highlighting that I'm truly passionate about it and
mm,
about how like yeah, I'm not so sure though.
that's okay. So the keys are good. So you want to highlight your previous experience, and then so your approach to highlight your brand value. So this is approach to, because now we've determined your brand, right? This is the brand value we want to show. Now we need to create a plan. How would we create that to showcase brand in the application? Okay. So how would we do this? How would we show that you're an artist? Number one, all of these. We can show previous experience, right? But like, how do we do that? Well, we do that in the list of the stuff in the common app. That's easy. You write them. you write what you did, and that's a discussion about how you can best craft those few sentences to describe your experience. So you highlight your previous experience, but I think that talking about your previous experience only is insufficient. And this is where most college essays fall short, is that they talk only about their previous experience, not about their proposed experience. What do I mean by that? What is your proposed experience? It means that you propose what you think you want to experience. That would show that you're an artist, a leader, someone who's dedicated, willing to learn, entrepreneurial, challenges yourself, and that you have interpersonal skills. Meaning, when you communicate this person that you want to be in 2040, right? That person with their own brand. They're also an artist, a business person who does marketing and is passionate about social causes. When you communicate the brand of this person, okay, you need to talk about your experience in how you're going to get there. So instead of just in your essay, right, in your writing, when you're writing your essay, instead of just talking about your previous experiences about being an artist, a leader, and all of these brand values, talk about how you will do it. Okay. So how might a student with your experience further show leadership? So they would say things like, as a future college student, I look forward to participating in school organizations that are passionate about women's health, whatever, if that is the cause that they are interested in, right? So you can demonstrate future potential of leadership in your essays by saying the things that you propose that you will do later on. How could you say that you would challenge yourself? Okay, so you can say that, I intend to take this challenging course. And throughout my training in college, I will pursue these additional experiences. I will work with these professors on a project. I will work with this company on an internship. I will, create something that would have an effect to society. So there's many ways that you can show this brand in your essays. So when you write your college essays, think about, this is rough, okay? Think about only talking about previous experience for about half of the essay, sometimes even less. So briefly just mention your background, because they already read it in your in other parts of your application. So what you want to talk about, what you want to highlight is what you want to become. This is super important. Once you have highlight what you want to become, then you communicate the brand of the person you want to be. The brand of the person that you want to be, the schools can correlate with their mission and their vision, which after considering for space and all of the other factors would allow them to determine whether you're a good fit for this institution or not. Okay? If they find that you're a fit, then they admit you and they have a space. Okay? So the theory of understanding the brand is that you need to understand your brand now and then understand your brand later, that you want to be, the person that you want to be later. Okay, that is important because if you think about society is still a tribe. It's still a collection of humans that are trying to accomplish a bigger goal. Okay, and therefore each person must have a role in that process. Okay, you could either be a doctor, a teacher, a dentist, etc. Okay, or many other professions. So your job in whether the colleges want to participate in your training, your education, is to communicate to them what you want to be. So taking the brand theory and having established a brand book, essentially a brand book, the keywords to describe yourself, now and in the future, how you want to pursue that. All of these create your brand, okay? And once you have created a cohesive brand, then that is what you present to the college applications. But step one of this, of creating your brand, is defining these three things. These are the three keys. You have to define the clear idea of your goal, some idea of your proposed journey, how you propose you're going to get there, and then and evidence of previous success. You combine these three together, okay, and you have a cohesive application. Okay. So it takes a long time sometimes to define, to get to know yourself more so, having a clear idea of that goal. So starting this early is very beneficial so that you can understand yourself and the person you want to be in the future. Because primary to this entire college application, so this is not a senseless exercise. This is an exercise that helps you define your person, define who you are so that you can get to the person you want to be in the future. So if you think of it from that standpoint, then it's not really that annoying. It's actually kind of fun. Okay. So thank you, Sophia, for allowing us to use you and your experiences as an example in this short session. So now I'd like to open the session to questions from the attendees. You can send them to the panelists, I guess, and then we can try to answer them.
Hi everyone. So now we're opening the floor to questions. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to type in the chat box and address it to me, Sophia Chua, or Coach Kim Montaniel. Thank you.
Okay. How would you explain maybe a lack of clubs, extracurricular activities, because your school only allows a limited amount? Exactly, just like that. You say that our school limits the amount of extracurricular activities that we could do. And therefore I chose these specific ones that I did. Okay. And then you have to be really creative. If you have a smaller pool of activities that you can present in your list of activities, then you have to be really creative at picking out experiences within each of these experiences to communicate your brand. For instance, you may be part of a club, right? And as a part of that club, you were doing art, but also you ran a fund drive, and therefore that would also demonstrate entrepreneurial skills. Okay, and then maybe within that club you also created graphics, so that would demonstrate some artistry, and you stayed in that club for a long time, so that demonstrates dedication. So so from these, what seems to be limitations, you could create a nicer picture. Yeah, unfortunately some schools do that, but yeah, that's how I would do it. Okay, there's the next question. I hope I answered that well. If not, just send the next question. What do I do if I didn't win any leadership positions I applied and worked hard for, and I am back to level 1? However, I did establish some brandings that I am good at certain things. Okay, then you focus on the things that you're good at. Okay, the key to doing a good branding is to highlight the good things about you. Don't highlight the things. Well, you can. There is a technique to talking about a loss or a failure. Okay, if you choose to do that, then you have to approach it from that point of view. But if you are, if you are not happy that you didn't get these leadership positions, I don't think it's worth saying that I was not happy I didn't get these leadership positions just to say it. Say it in a way that although I didn't get these leadership positions, it allowed me to do other things, perhaps because I have more time. Maybe there's something else you could do at this time that would still demonstrate something on one of those things in your brand that you can strengthen. So focus on the things you can do versus the things that you don't have control over anymore. Okay. Okay, next. Would you put your being a class officer as a part of your accomplishments, or would it be unnecessary? So whether you put it or not is dependent on the list of other things that you have in your application. So you have to think about that list cohesively. What does that list communicate about you? as a person and with your brand. After you have that, then that would determine whether whatever it is you want to put is worth putting in there or not. Okay, but being a class officer demonstrates leadership. So, okay. Okay. What would you do if the ECAs or clubs you've joined don't necessarily align, maybe due to slots being filled with your course? Example, marketing and school newspaper. Oh, that's fine. Not a problem at all. Then you just say that, like I was doing these things. I was doing these other things, but there are things that I learned there that I could apply to computer engineering. For instance, maybe you're part of the school newspaper that allowed you to be organized, which is necessary for a computer engineer. Okay. Or you did marketing and maybe that gives you perspective into the world of marketing so that you can create better computer programs for marketers later on. One of those things. Okay. So it's not the end of the world. You could write an explanation for it. It's just a matter of, of what you want to say.
There are more questions
Next.
in the Q&A tab po. So, for the first one here, can we add achievements during our JHS year, rather during SHS when the student has lesser achievements?
Sorry, I didn't see that. Oh, is it in the Q&A? Oh, sorry. Okay.
Oh,
So there's
Coach Kit,
more.
there was one more question in the chat box. Should my brand be
Yeah.
rounded or highly specialized?
Should your brand, good question. Both. Should my brand be branded and highly specialized? Both. You need to have a wide definition and then a specialized definition of your brand. Yes? And that means that you need to have defined that for yourself. For instance, if I am to brand myself now, I would say that I am an academic coach who is also a businessman, who is an athlete, right? So that's my brand now. But then if I zoom in, I could say key details about how I pursue my athleticism, details about my business, or details about my coaching career, right? So that picture, that brand, you can present that in multiple layers. And how do you not get confused which layer you're in? You need to have that core brand established so that when you're trying to answer questions, you could be like, what would this person that I want to be do? Right? It's not you yet, it's somebody you want to be. But you want to answer from their point of view. It's like SAT, you want to make an inference about what this future you would say. So, okay, that's how I would answer that. I see the next question. Can we add achievements when student has led? Yeah, totally. Add all the achievements that you think are relevant. What are some common branding mistakes to avoid? Good question. Common branding mistakes to avoid. Common branding mistake to avoid is, I think one of the common branding mistakes is being repetitive and being unclear. Okay, you want to be clear. I want to become a physician who does this. Okay, I want to become an engineer who does this. I want to become a business person, whatever that is. Like you want to be clear, and so your journey, your goal, that needs to be clear, but your journey, that can vary. So you want to exhibit that you understand that. So a common branding mistake is being too stiff, but also not specific enough. So you want just enough amount of specificity in your presentation. Okay. Okay. So next, how can you ensure consistency in your personal brand across all application components? And that is the answer, is you need to have a sophisticated understanding of that person that you're trying to become and what would they say. Okay. So for instance, if you're trying to become a physician, for example, okay, and someone asks you about um about hard work. Okay. So you must demonstrate, for instance, that you understand what hard work feels like and what it takes. Okay. And that means you must be able to clearly demonstrate what hard work feels like. So, what does hard work feel like? Okay. To me, hard work feels like I'm doing work. Okay. and I'm not getting the outcome that I think I'm going to get. But despite my not getting that outcome, I persist. I continue to do the work. Okay. I may succeed or not, but nevertheless, I continue. To me, that's the definition of hard work. And if you can clearly communicate that in your application, then to me as a reader would be able to perceive that you knew what hard work felt like because you've done it before, because you've clearly demonstrated how it felt like, right? So we need to have an understanding of those things that we want to communicate, we know. Okay, so if you want to demonstrate a record of success, show what that feels like. If you want to demonstrate confusion about things, demonstrate confusion. Okay, there is a way to use that positively. Okay, how can students continue to refine and evolve their brand over time? Well, it's, to me, it's consistent journaling about it. Okay, I would think about defining your brand now, and then again in a month, okay, as you progress in this process, and think about which brands highlight you the best, okay, and which brands still align with you. It is normal for the brand values to change over time because your plans dramatically change. Okay, just the goal of the college application process is not for you to stick to this brand for the rest of your life. The goal is for you to have come up with one. Okay, because if you have come up with one, then you are able to modify that one to suit whatever new plan it is that you have. Okay, you need to demonstrate that. If you have not demonstrated that, then the colleges are less likely to admit you because they don't know what you're going to do. Okay, so in order to refine your brand, continually work on it. It's not going to all come in one day. It takes a long time. Repeating, okay? That exercise of getting to know yourself. There's a set of exercises that I work with my students in order for them to get to know themselves. I'll share one of them with you, okay? One of them is the skills grid. So what is the skills grid? The skills grid is this 4 thing, okay? These are things I like, things I don't like, do not like, and then these are things I'm good at, and these are things I'm not good at. Okay. For instance, the things I like and the things that I'm good at are skateboarding. The things I like, but I'm not good at, surfing. The things I do not like and I'm good at, cooking. The things I do not like and the things I am not good at is like calculations for like my business or the end of the month. Like I just hate doing Excel spreadsheets. Um, um, I hate that type. I like other types. But anyway, what this allows you to do is to like, okay, this is someone who's possibly athletic, likes to cook, but doesn't like, likes cooking, is good at cooking, but doesn't like how to do it, and doesn't like calculations at all. So anyway, if you make a comprehensive list of things in this grid, you would have a better idea of your person. So this is one of the exercises that I do with my students. So there's many other exercises that you could do, and I could talk to you about those. So would it look bad for my brand if I only found my passion very recently prior to applications? How can I present myself the best way knowing that? Okay, so if your new plan, right, you just came up, probably maybe you just encountered figure skating and suddenly now you want to become a figure skater. So you want to go to a new school where you can pursue figure skating as a side sport, and maybe you'll do sports science. I don't know, just a little random thing like that. So then you highlight it by you demonstrate your newfound passion for it. Okay, you need to demonstrate your newfound passion for this thing. And then you also want to demonstrate in the past that when you have become passionate about something, that you pursued it to a high standard, okay, to a level that is great. So so that's how I would present that. because you haven't done a lot of it. So you'll say that, I'm super passionate about this thing now. And in the past, when I was passionate about something, I was able to pursue it. Therefore, the things I learned being passionate about one thing in the past, I'm going to use to pursue about this new passion of mine. Okay, so that's how I would do that. Okay, so there's a lot of people asking if I conduct classes. I will leave my number later at the end of the call, and you can send me a message if you'd like. Okay, how can you know what your personal branding will be if you have a lot of interests and you're still undecided of your program? Totally. So your brand is going to be dynamic, as I mentioned. It will change over time with the things you learn about yourself and the things you learn about the careers that you're considering. So in order for you to know more about what your brand will be, is for you to get to know more information. Remember, information is power. So again, one of the other things I encourage my students to do is an exercise called Day in the Life, wherein they would write to professionals that are doing the things that they think they want to do later. And in this exercise, I really encourage them to go wild. Okay, like I had one student call a DJ in South Africa and asked him about what his life is, right? So you want to really get wild and pursue things you didn't think you'd pursue, because the point of understanding what you want to do is getting to know what it is that you want to do. So you want to talk to those people that you think you want to do, and you want to ask them, hey, what is your life like? And do you know, what is your advice for me? And what do you think I should do in order to live the life that you live? And do you even want that life in the first place? So that's one of the exercises, is getting to know other people that do the life that you want to have. That would allow you to determine, whether you want to pursue it or not. And if you want to pursue that a little further, perhaps you can do experiences with them. You can do some sort of a shadowing, or you could work with them in some sort of a project. Those are experiences that you could put in your resume as well to demonstrate that you have demonstrated commitment to whatever it is you want to do. Okay, what if we don't have that many extracurricular activities? Again, it is not that how many you have. It is about what, of course, there is too little, there is too few. Okay, you need to have done something in high school. The reason why schools want to know that you have extracurricular activities is this is something that is not put on you. This is something that you choose to do. So they want to know, if you are not forced to do something, what is it that you would do? Okay, and therefore, to demonstrate that, you do extracurricular activities. If you didn't do many, then there's not a lot that you have demonstrated you want to do if you were not forced to do it. So that's not good either. So we want to do some, okay? And if we don't have that many, then I would encourage you to talk to someone to maybe reevaluate your resume and your experience. Perhaps there are other things that you could put in there that would increase the number. Okay, so for students who've had slow or recent starts in terms of volunteering and experience outside of academics, how would one create a strong branding? Okay, so if you've had slow or recent starts in terms of volunteering and experience, and perhaps you can talk about the experience of coming to terms with volunteering. Okay, why did it start late? Okay, like, what impact is it making in your life now? That's one of the things that I would focus on, instead of focusing on the absence of volunteering experiences in the past. I would talk about the recency, not recency, that's not a word. The being recent of these experiences, and how that has dramatically impacted your current perspective and your goals. So don't focus, again, the philosophy is never to focus on the negative. If they see it, they see it, but you're not going to bring it up. Okay. Okay, what is this? Okay, so there's two questions, camp officers. There's one in the Q&A, and then there's one in the webinar chat.
Yes, coach, there are a lot of
Okay,
questions.
so there's the next one. Does our strand in senior high school have to align with our course? Example, STEM to health sciences. It's ideal, right? Because you want to demonstrate that you're preparing for the path that you say you want to take. So therefore, if you want to go to medicine, then you should have taken chem and bio and physics in high school because that is the appropriate preparation for that degree. If you didn't do that, it's not the end of the world. Okay. My advice is if you're applying to a highly competitive college, perhaps don't say you want to major in biology. Perhaps say that you want to major in something else, something that your preparation has prepared you for. Okay. And then while you're in the university, transition to a more STEM background. So that's another way of going around this. Yes. Okay. Anything else? Is there anything coming?
Coach Kim, do you see the questions marked answered?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You weren't able to miss anything, right?
Okay,
Double check.
okay. I
Yeah.
think the last one I answered as well. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So the last one that I didn't answer, okay, are the ones asking for if I personally coach or not. So I do take students for personal coaching. I'm a little busier this year, so I'm limited to how many people I can help. But if you want to talk, my phone number, I usually use Viber to talk to my students, and it's so we're a little behind for this year, but if you absolutely need help in your college application and you're just I don't know that I can offer a full, the full service because the full service takes a long time. When I coach students, we go through a discovery phase during which we get to know each other and really what things that we can highlight about them. And then we have an execution phase where we create the materials for the college application based on the materials that we created in the discovery phase. And then we wait, right? So now the applications are going to be due in, well, November, right? Some of the earliest ones. So if you're applying in November and you want to prepare your application and you want to begin now, I can help, but there will be a lot of head work in the beginning. So if you're prepared for that, then I could perhaps help you. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Okay. How can you know that what your personal branding will be if you have a lot of interests? And this one I already answered. I said it is important for you to know your personal interests to come up with a brand. So if you still don't know your personal interests, I encourage you to get to know what they are. So pursue experiences that allow you to determine what you're interested in. Okay?
There's a new question in the chat box. Is it
Okay. All right. Okay, is it better to switch clubs to explore variety or should you stay dedicated to certain ones? Okay. So this is subjective and dependent on the situation that you're dealing with. It is great to have exposure to a variety of different clubs because that shows your flexibility, your dedication to different causes, but it's also important that you progress in the things that you do. So if you start as a member in a club, you demonstrate that over time you were given more and more responsibilities or that you took in more and more responsibilities. That's important too. So you have to find a balance between switching to different clubs so that you can experience variety and showing dedication so that you can show leadership. My recommendation for this is to choose some clubs to really stay in for the rest of your tenure in high school, and then have some minor involvement in other clubs where you don't have to do as much. Okay, maybe you're a committee member or you do a few things with them. And that way you still show variety, but you're not so pressed for time. Okay. Anything else?
Maybe Coach Kim, to wrap up this session, you can reiterate the key takeaways for developing a strong brand.
Yeah. Totally. So the key takeaways, I'll reiterate, is that, oops, right here. The key takeaways to understanding your brand is that you need to have a clear idea of your goal. That is your destination. Okay. You need to have some idea. Again, this is not clear, some idea of your proposed journey, and you need to write that in your application. And then you need to demonstrate that you have an evidence of a record of success. Okay, you need to show that you can succeed at something. And if you can do these three things, highlighting your brand, then you will create a successful application. Okay. All right. Good luck to everybody applying this year. I remember preparing mine and it was stressful, but be kind to yourself when preparing these things, and also take them really fun. Like, it's just essays, like, and you'll get into one. Okay. So sorry, there's another one. How can you tailor your brand to specific colleges or programs? Good question. So definitely, I don't recommend tailoring your brand to a specific college or program. I recommend that having a general brand about yourself, and then tailoring that, fitting the plan to get to that person, to get to that brand, tailored to the college. For instance, say you want to become a biomedical engineer working in medical devices. So then you would maybe go to the University of Minnesota so that you could pursue an internship at Medtronic, right? So now, if I'm University of Minnesota and I see that, I'm like, oh yeah, definitely admit this student. Like, they know what our strengths are, and they know that we can help them get to the path they want to choose. They choose. So you don't carve your personal branding to the university. You carve your journey to fit the expertise of the university. Remember, the university is not your end goal. This is just a stopover in your journey. You progress. So you want to talk to them about, you want to cater, you want to tell them how they're going to help you. Because that's what they're going to do, right? You go there to be trained. Anything else?
There's a new question. Do you have any resources that we can access for further guidance on personal
On
branding?
personal branding. Not off of me at this time, but send me a message, and I can help you with some of your questions. Okay, I do my coaching, like, I don't create like these general handouts, because like it's personalized. It depends on what you need at the time. And some students need different things. I have a general idea of what I'm going to say and what I want you to get and produce at the end, but the way to get there is different on who you are. Like, I worked with Sophia Chua in the past, and that's a different approach to working with another student that is her friend. So it's different, right? No matter who we are. So you guys need to hear different things to accomplish the same goal. What are some tips for developing a memorable brand in terms of the way you phrase them in your essays? I love this question. Okay. Use the brand names. Okay. For instance, I have had a student say that, like, I have one student who would say that, I create these beautiful paintings, and I buy paint, and then I work on mixing the paint to come up with these unique colors so that I can highlight my painting. I'm like, say you're an artist. You're an artist. So say that. So to be memorable, you need to say exactly who you are. And think about this in college essays, okay? When you're writing your college essays, you want to, as a person who has read hundreds of college essays, maybe thousands actually, you want to put yourself in the position of the person reading. They've read so many more, so many more. They're not so interested in knowing about you. So you want to get them interested. So in the beginning of your essay, you want to get their attention for the first minute. And then in that minute, you want to give them enough nuggets so that they would pay attention for another 3 minutes. And then in that 3 minutes, you want to give them enough information to pay attention to the next 10 until they finish your essay, right? So how do you do that? Okay, well, think about a time when you communicated with one person and you thought at the end of that conversation was like, wow, that was so clear. I understood everything they told me. What was that? Okay, so that is when someone tells you what they're going to do, tells you then again exactly what they're going to do in detail, explains to you why they did what it is they did, and then links it back to the initial idea. So if you did Langlit, that would be the Peel format of writing a paragraph, right? Point, evidence, explanation, and link. So use those things you learned in school to create this essay. So a fundamental to a paragraph is those, PEEL. And how do you come up with the point, the evidence, the explanation, and the link? Well, that's part of your branding. That's part of your branding. Okay. So you have to work on the branding so that you can package it in a way that is comprehensible to the schools. Okay, there's two more. How can I present my current experience? Sorry. How can I present my current experiences that are not aligned with my intended major, given that I'm already applying? Okay, that are not aligned. Well, if I suggest to find alignment, there is a point of alignment. At the end of the day, all of these experiences that you've had in high school is preparing you for something, okay? Think about what that thing is and how you could use that thing to help you become the person you want to be, okay? For instance, if you want to become a physician and you answered phones for a nonprofit. Now, how could answering phones for a nonprofit help you become a physician? That's not related, right? Answering phones and becoming a physician. Well, if you are to find a relationship, answering phones require that you sit there every day with the information that you need in order to help someone on the other side of the line, right? Answer their questions. Well, isn't that what doctors do? Doctors are information providers. They give you information about your medical condition, and that information again on how you can treat that medical condition. So from what this seemingly unrelated exercise, you can find a connection to whatever it is you want to do. You just have to find it. Okay. 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 If you don't mind asking, sir, how many among your students were able to successfully make it place in their dream reach universities under your guidance? 100% so far. All of the students I've helped have gotten into the schools of their choosing. So we're doing well in that regard. So I like that for them. Okay. Anything else?
I will give a short testimony, if that's all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
So, I've worked with Coach Kim since, was it grade 11, sure, or grade 12?
Yeah, grade 11, I
Yeah,
think.
grade 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, around that time. So, he was helping me with SAT. And then eventually when I joined biology Olympiads, he also coached me on that until all the way to my college applications. Like when I had to apply for a full ride scholarship and I had to write an essay, he helped me with that. So yeah, like I can really attest that Coach Kim is 100% legit and he does help you. Like his sessions are like what he did today. Like he doesn't have slides. He's gonna like do it all impromptu with his Apple Pen and his notebook ready. So it's basically like this. Whatever you experience right now, this is the type of service that he offers. And yeah, I'd say that it was really worth it. And I'm so thankful that I met him. And I'm pretty sure I'll be consulting with Coach Kim again in the future, like for med school and all, because he has experience in that too. So yeah, I just want to take this opportunity also to thank Coach Kim, because without Coach Kim, I wouldn't be able to like get in my dream university, and which I'm already flying actually to Australia on Monday, tomorrow. So yeah, it's all been crazy, and Coach Kim has been with me ever since. So yeah, thank you, Coach.
Sophia. And like my passion is really like it's really this. Like I love helping students. I remembered the time. I remembered how confusing it was and going through online forums 17 years ago, just like searching for what to write in my college essay. So now I really like helping students, and like it's really rewarding for me to see you succeed. And like at the end of the day, like that is what really fuels me, is to let you go. Like I like getting the students and then helping them and then see ya. So yeah, if I can help you at all in any way, please let me know. And my number is right there. Sophia can also tell you.
Yeah,
Okay.
you guys can reach
Alrighty.
out to me, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, I can help
Yeah.
you guys connect with
Okay.
Coach.
Thank you so much for the very interactive session, everybody. I really enjoyed providing an idea of my method. So Thank you.
Coach,
I
there's like
hope
two more stuff in the
everybody best
Q&A.
of luck. What's that?
There's two more in the Q&A.
Oh, there's two more. Okay, let's
Yeah.
answer them. I don't. So okay, where is it? Oh, Q&A. Okay. I have a wide array of experiences and skills that I think are good in the eyes of admissions officers. How can I present myself without sounding too confident? Oh, sound confident. Sound confident. You did it. So why would you not sound confident about it? The key is to not sound cocky, meaning you have to say exactly what you did. If you did something useful, say it's useful. If you did something extravagant, if you did something that helped a lot of people, say it. If it's true, say it. There's no reason not to. Um, um, Bragging is different. Bragging is saying beyond what is true. Okay, like putting it in a context that exaggerates the truth. In college applications, we don't. There's a fine line between exaggeration and highlighting. Okay, you don't exaggerate. Like you don't want to say like, oh yeah, I can do an appendectomy when you've opened a frog like that. That's beyond, right? So you just want to say exactly you just want to say exactly what you said in the best way possible. That's all you want to say, because like all of this is communication, right? You want to communicate clearly who you are. That's all it is. So sorry I was late, but I just want to ask how to be. Oh, just contact me in my number that I have displayed up there. And if you don't have that, just ask Sophia. She will tell you. Um, I want to study food science, but I'm not sure what experiences I need to have to show colleges I'm qualified for it. Okay, so food science is clearly a scientist who works in a lab testing food for a variety of different things. So to do that, you need to demonstrate that you have a fascination about food and that you have a scientific mind. So how do you show that you have a scientific mind? Maybe you've participated, maybe you've taken science classes in your training, maybe you've done some experiments to show that you're curious, etc. Some of those things, coupled with your academic performance, of course, that would be necessary. In particular, for U.S. applications, the extracurricular activity section really do form a big part of your application. Because if you think about it, you're in school for how long? 6, 7 hours? Is that right? 6 or 7 hours? Or is it longer now? It was longer back in my day, but you would spend some time after it. The extracurricular activities reflect what you did. So you want to do some. And ideally, with the students that I get early before they start IB, we craft this. We choose what you're gonna do so that you have a brand later. So all of these things can be planned in order for you to get to your goal. Okay? Any other questions?
So someone asked if there's another Zoom meeting similar
Oh,
to this. Yes, unfortunately, this is day 4 of CAMP's conference, which is actually the last day. So yeah, it's the last day, guys. So like feel because so like this conference is until 12 a.m. since we're gonna have a college fair tonight from 8 p.m. until 12 a.m. So we wait, I'll just say like the schedule right now so you guys are aware and you can stay if you want to. So after this talk, there's gonna be a closing keynote by Kiko Pangilinan. And then at 7 p.m., there's gonna be a UAE talk. So she's a student from UAE. And then from 7:30 to 8, there's gonna be someone talking about her course and her journey in Canada. And then after that, it's the college fair already. So the colleges joining us today are University of Notre Dame, Kent Institute Australia, California College of the Arts, University of Calgary, University of Ottawa, Imperial College London, ICL, and City University of Hong Kong. So yeah, if you guys are interested in any of those talks, please stay. We're gonna have another Zoom link also for the college fair, and we're gonna send this to your email if you registered for this talk. Um, like we posted the forms in our Instagram page. So yeah, but take note that all of our sessions are recorded except for the colleges that requested for the session to not be posted online. So yeah, you can definitely like check out our YouTube channel if you missed anything and if you want to like rewind the stuff. Yeah.
The
Thank you.
YouTube
Okay.
is at
So there's like one question. It says, I'm inclined towards marketing and communication. Since I have a bit of a BG, what does BG mean? Is that an
Background.
acronym? Oh,
Background.
background. Coming from a Phil Chai family. What advice can you give me, Paul, for me to stand out among the applications? Well, I need to know your background, my friend, to give it advice. Because unless I see it, I don't know what to say. Right? I need to see it.
Guys, take a
Okay.
screenshot of Coach Kim's number if you want to reach out. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
We're actually running out of time already. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
All good. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I wish everybody the best of luck, and if I could ever help you, just let me know. Okay. Thank you for inviting me, Sophia, and
So much,
the
Coach
other
Kim.
other part of the team.